Hello everyone! Today I have this pink smoky eye makeup tutorial for you. Now, pink is quite a scary colour to wear on your eyes, but I think this is very wearable and is very easy for you to recreate at home, so let's just jump in. Now I'm going to start off with foundation. This is Illamasqua's Skin Base in the shade 3.5, but you can use whatever foundation you love. I'm just going to dot that all over my skin and then buff it in with my Real Techniques buffing brush. Now I love this brush, it makes my foundation look flawless, almost like an airbrush sort of finish. Now I'm going all into my hairline with this foundation just so there's no bits missing, and all across my jaw. I'm then going in with my Perfect Match Concealer from Rimmel in the shade Ivory. I'm taking that all around my nose to counteract any of my redness from having a cold, and across my chin on any blemishes. Now this concealer is a very high coverage concealer, so it covers up any of the stuff that I just don't want to be seen. Now when blending in your concealer, always use your ring finger because it is the lightest finger, and gently pat it in just to make sure you don't lose any of that coverage. Now that my base is done, I can now start on the eyes. Now this is Maybelline's Colour Tattoo in the shade Pink Gold. I'm just putting a little bit of the product onto my finger and patting it onto my eyelids. This is going to act as a base for my eyeshadows, giving them something to stick to so you get the best colour payoff from them, as well as them not budging throughout the day. You then want to go in with your pink eyeshadow. Now you can use whatever pink eyeshadow you have, but I have Magic from the Urban Decay's Oz palette, and you just want to pat that all over your lid, making sure not to go too high, otherwise it could end up looking a tiny bit scary. Now that both eyes are looking very pretty and pink, you want to go in with a lighter pink eyeshadow, a cream or like a shimmery sort of white colour, and just put that on the very inner corners of your eyes. Now this is going to make them look bigger, brighter and more wide awake. You then want to take a very light brown eyeshadow or sort of tan colour. This is Naked from the Naked Urban Decay palette, and blend that into your crease using a big fluffy blending brush. Now this is going to give the darker colours that we're going to use in a little bit something to blend into and make everything look more seamless and polished. You then want to go in with a dark brown purpley sort of colour. Now this is Blackberry from MAC, and you want to pop that just into the crease of the eye in window screen wiper motions, but concentrating most of the colour on the outer edge just to make sure everything looks nice and smoky. Now you want to blend this darker colour upwards so you don't disturb that pink eyeshadow on the centre part of the lid. Now you want to slowly build up this colour, so only add a tiny bit of eyeshadow at a time, and once it is as dark as you want, you can stop blending. Then taking a matte black eyeshadow and tapping off the excess off my brush, I'm going to add that to the very outer V of my eye in small circular motions. Now the key to this look is building up the colour very slowly, so you want to add a tiny bit of that black shadow to your brush at a time, making sure to tap off the excess and build that colour up to the intensity that you want it. Once I have made both eyes as dark and as smoky as I want them, I can go in with my highlight shade. Now this is Booty Call from the Naked 2 palette, and you just want to add that underneath the arch of your brow. Now underneath my eyes it's looking a bit bare, so I'm going to take that first pink eyeshadow and apply that all underneath that bottom lash line. And then with that dark purpley colour I'm going to add that to the outer third of the bottom lash line just to make everything tie together. I'm then going to take the black eyeshadow and add that to the very outer corner of my eye just to complete the whole eyeshadow look. Now it's onto the liner. Now you can use liquid or you can use gel, which is what I'm using. This is the Maybelline's gel eyeliner in black, and I'm just going to line the top of my lash line very thinly before going on to the flick. Now the easiest way I find to do a flick on my eyeliner is taking my brush and drawing a tiny little line in the direction of where my eyebrow finishes. See how that lines up? And once you have that line, you can then join that from the very tip to the rest of your eyeliner, and there you have your flick. Now this can take a bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's really quick, simple and easy to do. Now to cover up those dark circles, I am using my L'Oreal Lumi Magique highlighting pen and twisting up the product and popping that underneath my eyes, concentrating where I want a tiny bit more coverage and a bit more brightening. I'm also going to take that down the centre of my nose to make my nose look a bit slimmer, and on my cupid's bow to make my lips look a tiny bit fuller. I'm then going to take my ring finger and pat that in the same as I did my concealer earlier. Now my eyebrows are looking a bit bare, so I think they need doing next. I like to fill my brows in with a shadow and a small angled brush, just because I feel they give a more natural look. I can do a tutorial on how I do my brows, but I usually just follow the shape that they already have with that eyeshadow. Now that my brows are done, we're going to move on to contouring. Now, there's a lot of stuff online about contouring, but I find this Sleek palette from Superdrug is the easiest way to do it. Now I'm going to take my brush and rest that from the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth and follow that line with the powder blending upwards. Now this is going to be directly underneath your cheekbone and it's going to slim down your face and give it shape and dimension. I'm also going to take that powder through my hairline and onto my temples, just a tiny little bit, just to complete the shape of my face. I'm then going to also take it underneath my jawbone, so you're kind of going in a 3 shape on your face from the top of your temples through to your cheekbone, and then finishing off at the jaw. I'm also going to take a tiny bit of that powder down the sides of my nose. Now this just makes my nose look a tiny little bit slimmer, and I just like doing this, to be honest. I'm also going to take a tiny bit of that powder underneath my bottom lip to make that look a lot fuller as well. Now it's time to curl those lashes. I am using my Mr. Mascara eyelash curlers, but any will do. And you want to get as close down to the root of those lashes as you can and squeeze a little bit just to make them extra curly and fluttery. I'm then going in with my favourite mascara, this one's from L'Oreal, and coating my lashes. You then want to go in with a black pencil waterproof eyeliner and line that upper waterline. Now this is just going to make the base of your lashes look a lot fuller. Now the next thing to do is blusher. Now this one is Frat Boy from the Balm, but any pink blusher will do. And I'm going to pop that on the apples of my cheeks and work that colour upwards into that contour colour. Now because I've gone a bit overboard on the blusher, I'm taking my foundation brush and just softening up those edges. The next thing to do is set my makeup in place, and to do that I have Soap & Glory's One Heck of a Blot powder, and I'm going to start setting that under eye concealer that I put on earlier just so it doesn't crease or move throughout the day. And I'm also going to take that around my nose just because I get a bit shiny there. And then I'm also going to take that on my chin and on my forehead. Now this is the highlighting shade from that Sleek contour kit, and I'm going to pop that on the very tops of my cheekbones just to make them stand out that tiny little bit more and make my skin nice and glowy. I'm also taking that down the centre of my nose and a tiny bit on my little finger and popping that on my cupid's bow. Now this is the last thing to do on the eyes, I promise. You just want to take a purpley eyeliner and add that to the outer third of your bottom waterline. This will just make those lashes look nice and thick at the bottom there. Then to finish up, it's time for lipstick. Now this is the Revlon Lip Bar in the shade Cupcake, but any warm pink lipstick will do. This was a tiny bit too blue toned for the look, so I added a tiny bit of Bourjois 3D lip gloss in the shade 05 just to warm it up a little bit so it matched the eyes. And that is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it. I love this makeup look. I think it's very appropriate for a date or a little bit of a night out. It just kind of goes with anything really. So I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you soon. Bye!